What's up, guys? Today's mission is simple. Today's mission is a little bit of R&R for me. Just needed a little break, come out and toss a couple of lines. And it's nothing specific except top water, I guess. Got the big evergreen with me and the old Dog X Diamante. So yeah, like I said, nothing special, just a big bait and top water and just therapy, R&R therapy. It's been cold these past couple of days. Top water is bound to not be the go-to, but we're gonna give it a shot. Like I said, I just want to come out and toss some lines and get a little therapy in. Have me a drink of some Monster and hopefully rip a lip. That'd be ideal, right? So anyways, let's get after it. Hey, roll that intro for me. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Oh my gosh! It's a whale! 9/11. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a little tip that I'd like to give you guys about these bigger topwater baits where you're throwing them on braid. A lot of the time you'll notice that I'm not watching the bait really. I'm kind of looking away. And the reason I do that is I tend to, when I'm watching that bait, I tend to react a little too fast. Kind of a snap reaction. I'll kind of, knee-jerk react and set the hook. A lot of time with these bigger ones, especially on braid, you don't need to really set the hook. You can just kind of lean into them, sweep, kind of a sweep hook set. So I like to not watch. That way if it does surprise me, I don't have that quick reaction to set the hook hard. I had someone ask me the other day about, I can't remember who it was, and I'm sorry. He's got a Dobbins Fury. It's rated up to 1.5 ounces. He was asking me about throwing bigger baits on, a rod that's, not really rated for higher weight lures. And while I'm not the best, probably not the one guy that you should be listening to about this, got a little bit of experience. So I'll tell you what I do and I'll show you how I go about it. So recommendations for you guys that have those rods that are kind of weighted or rated to 1.5 ounces, 2 ounces even, and you're throwing baits that are over 2 ounces. So this rod in particular is rated for, I think, 1.5. Yeah, 1.5. However, I know the stiffness of this rod, and I know the backbone of this rod enough to where I know that I can trust it to handle those heavier baits and those heavier lures. This is what I caught the like that 7 something on the Rat. This is the exact same setup. It's 50-pound braid, 50-pound P-line X braid, or whatever it is, I don't know. 50-pound, 65-pound is going to be good. It's going to be a good enough diameter to where you're going to get, smooth casts out of it, but it's still strong enough. Tie a Palomar knot. Palomar knot, 100%. You don't want that thing to go sailing and then have that braid snap down, because you're chucking it too hard, and have that bait break off. So Palomar knot's going to be strong enough to hold that. Now, one thing you'll notice when I'm casting, even my overhead casts are very minimal effort. I'm letting the weight of that lure carry it forward. More often than not, I like to do those sidearm lobbing casts. That's what I like to do with these bigger lures on this setup. I've got big bait setups. I do have those, but sometimes I don't have them with me. So that's a good thing to talk about. You'll see me more often than not doing a sidearm lobbing cast. Kind of show you what I do with that. I kind of roll that up and send that bait flying up and out to really let the weight of that lure carry that momentum forward. So it's just that right there. You're not going to get the longest cast, but it is going to put minimal stress on that rod and the line. As far as reels go, know your equipment, know your reels. You know, this is an SLX. It's not the DC, it's just the SLX 151 XG. It's the 8-gear ratio. It's what I like from a topwater. So that's another thing that why you do not want to straight up just overhead Oliver Nye style chuck those baits out there. He's got the proper equipment for it. He's got the reels, he's got the rods, he's got, you know, he's throwing much heavier baits than this too. But even, like I said, my overhead is pretty minimal. I just feel that weight of the lure kind of pull back a little bit, and then I just pendulum it forward. That's about it. It's nothing fancy, nothing special, but it will get the job done if you do not have, you know, a dedicated big bait rod. I say swim bait rod all the time because most of the time that's, you know, your heavier setups are going to be swim baits, or your heavier lures are going to be swim baits. You know, 300 size reels and up. That's what I have on my swim bait rods. So my 2 swim bait rods that I have, they're both rated for like 4 to 8 ounces. And I got 300 size reels on there with either 25-pound CXX or what's the other one I have on there? I think I got 25-pound tactical on another one of them. So that's what I prefer. But if you don't have that, if say you're working with a 1/2 ounce weighted rod, a regular reel, 50 to 65-pound braid, careful with those casts. Underarm, lob them, you know, until you get more comfortable, and then you can work on those overhead casts. But again, that's a different kind of casting. When you're throwing those bigger baits overhead, you want to be sure that you're not flinging them forward, because when you do that, especially, you know, with braid or, you know, with a heavier line, that line a lot of the time is going to be going, because of the weight of that lure, the spool cannot keep up. And that's where you're going to have that spool, the line bite down into the spool, and then you're going to have a break off, because you've got that 2-ounce lure with all that momentum traveling forward, and that line bites down, something's got to give. And most of the time, it's the knot or the line. So this little R&R fishing therapy trip has turned into a bit of a learning lesson. So hope you guys enjoyed. Figure it's the best I can do when I can't catch fish, right? Share some of my knowledge. Like I said, I'm not the most knowledgeable guy. I don't have the most experience, but I will pass on what I do know to you guys. I'm gonna wrap up tonight with some aggressive topwater action. And when I say aggressive topwater action, I mean I'm just gonna work this thing super aggressive until I lose, well, all my fishing light. It is a little chilly. That wind is not helping. I've got all the water from my lures on my hands. If you guys have been around for a while, you guys know that I've got some issues with cold weather in my hands. So, kind of loose feeling and all that. But I'm gonna keep on fishing. I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for watching, guys. And you know, I'll see you next time we're on the water. It sure is pretty out.